Well, more than 90 veterans from the Red River Valley are gearing up for the next honor flight to Washington, D.C. It takes off Sunday for a 3-day tour of the memorials and monuments. Most of the veterans on this trip are from the Vietnam War and Korean Wars, but there is one veteran who served during World War II.
And now Valley News Live will be sending a crew with that group again. You can look for coverage from our very own Mike Morgan. That is starting on next Sunday. The race for North Dakota House Majority Leader is now picking up steam. Representative Jim Casper of Fargo just announced his intention to run, joining Mike LaFleur of Dickinson and Robin Wiese of Hertzfield.
Republicans currently have an 80-14 majority in the House. There will also be a new Senate Majority Leader, Speaker of the House, and both appropriations chairs. Well, take a look at this. A new mural has been painted in downtown Grand Forks, showing off the artistic side of the Northern Valley city. It's the work of 3 artists combined, each adding special pieces to the mural and representing the Grand Forks community.
Yeah, cool stuff there. It includes a reference to the Air Force Base and the diversity of the people around town.
I've gone through a lot of emotions. I've been sad. I've been elated. I've been angry. But mostly I just feel really blessed to be able to have done something like this.
Now that mural is located next to the town square. We have some new road closures in Fargo that start off this last week of September. Now beginning today, northbound 45th Street South will be down to 2 lanes between 26th Avenue and Amber Valley Parkway. You will see crews working on some underground utility work there for about the next week.
Also today, North University Drive between 12th and 13th Avenues will be cut to 1 lane for street repairs. This project expected to last through Wednesday.
Let's see how people are responding now to that question of the morning on Facebook. Our question we have today: the average person does this 5 times a day.
Here are some of your answers. Fonda says open the fridge door. Betty says brush their teeth. And Lexi says drive their vehicle. Oh, she's on the move.
She is on the move. And that one person has real clean teeth.
Yeah, wait, I glossed right over that one. I was more focused on the fridge door, and I was like, that checks out.
Our priorities, yeah.
To leave your answer, check out the question on our Valley News Live Facebook page. We'll be back with the correct one a little later on.
It is now 6:26. We have breaking news straight ahead on the Valley today. 6 people hurt, another in handcuffs after an early morning rollover in the Northern Valley.
Plus, the dangers of drag racing. 2 people were killed when cars got out of control and into the crowd.
Also this morning, we're looking at a little bit of cool temperatures, but really not too bad for the fall. Lisa Green tracking it all. Plus, when we could see a few showers out there.